Good afternoon, dear families, Faith Academy board members, faculty and staff, friends, alumni, and fellow graduates. We have gathered together to celebrate the end of a very long journey and the beginning of a new one. My name is Tica, or Ivy for short, and I am deeply humbled and blessed to be the speaker for the graduating class of 2022. My first day at Faith in sophomore year was plagued by the usual new school jitters. Will I fit in? Will I have a good group of friends? Will I really have to run the mile again? And although God answered the last question with PE requirements, He also answered the first two with incredibly warm community at Faith Academy. In fact, He answered it so well that even though I had spent less than a year at Faith, I was so devastated when the pandemic came and the resulting quarantine kept me from seeing my friends, classmates, and teachers. When we were finally allowed to resume in-person classes this February, I remember how we seemed more like new students than seniors as we figured out how to open lockers again, and as we walked around the senior hallway in our too tight uniforms, and as we wondered whether we'd find that same sense of class bond after 2 years of being apart. Now we eat and walk around the senior hallway with ease, growing into the mantle left to us by the previous classes, and wishing desperately we had another year, another month, or even another day to make up for the ones we lost. In February, I, like perhaps many of us, thought it would be too late to make new friends. But after the bonfire during senior trip, as I was comforting a crying friend who I had in a sense just discovered this semester, that friend held my hand, faced me, and said, I didn't expect to grow close to people this quickly, and I didn't even want to because we're graduating soon. But I'm so glad I did, and I'm so glad you're my friend. I just wish we had more time. And suddenly, we were just crying in a tight embrace, finding comfort in each other. If we could, many of us would have chased the days that have slipped through our fingers to retrieve them and prolong the inevitability of saying goodbye. I know that there have been moments so filled with laughter and intimacy that I prayed to God to let the sun stand still, as He once did for Joshua in a very long and weary battle. And the pandemic has been a battle of isolation and despair, a battle of depression and all the loss that may go so deep into our subconscious that we cannot even put it to words. But class of 2022, it is because of this battle that we learn to be grateful for each moment we had together. Plato's famous allegory of the cave details the journey of a man from the dark, stale blindness of a cave to the free, moving world of light. Just like that man, our class rejoices in the light of community and friendship that God has given us in these brief few past months, because we have known what it was like to be without them. We are a class that, having known the dark underside of a cave for almost 2 years, has chosen to live in a world of light and to invite others to share in that light. Because we have been acquainted with the darkness that came upon us during the pandemic, we have also recognized the importance of being bearers of light. This was evident in how we spent half an hour on the cold cement floor of the Rizal Recreation Center gym to find the best way to apologize to our class officers when we had left their hard work in the dark. This was evident in how we found small ways during class to interact with our online peers to brighten their day, whether that meant saying hello through a computer screen or taking turns carrying a class laptop to include them in group discussions. And this was evident in how we wrote so many letters during the letter writing activity in senior trip to express our gratitude to numerous friends, classmates, and teachers for bringing light into our lives. The stack of paper provided for the activity disappeared almost instantaneously. Still, I know that this change did not come without fear and hesitation. Living in the dark cave has one benefit to it. We could not see the beauty of the things we would lose. We started in-person classes with the foreknowledge and for some, the fear that sometime very soon this would all pass and we would have to start again in a new school, a new country, or a new circumstance. And this is a fear that perhaps no other class before us has experienced in this form and intensity, as our class spent the longest time in distance learning, dealing with isolation, and the shortest time in person healing from that isolation in our senior year. But we still opened our hearts to friends, both old and new. We came back with the humility and strength to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and visible to others. Just a few days ago, actually, during senior prom, as I was embracing a dear friend who I had really only started getting to know this semester, she whispered to me, "Why did I only find you now?" And in the sanctity of that moment, I felt my heart swell and grieve in one beat. I was grateful she could not see my face, but I would have disturbed the festive night with tears. For this, I will always be proud of us, class of 2022, because while we have painfully accepted the reality of loss, we have also wholeheartedly embraced the gift of life we have together to the fullest. Even though we cannot make the sun stand still for a moment longer, even though we'll soon part and say goodbye, even though we face a new beginning that will no longer include all of us in this spirit and in this bond, I pray that the light of this class will always be like the midday sun in Joshua's time, standing still in our hearts as we fight the good fight of faith and faithfulness. In this increasingly dark world, fueled by despair, fear, and division, I pray that we will also let the eternal light of Christ shine through us wherever He sends us. Even in our darkest moments, we will never be without light, because now we have the light of the lifelong friendships we made at Faith Academy, and the light of God dwelling in us that penetrates through the deepest darkness. Remember the words of Jesus in Matthew 5:15. No one lights a candle and hides it under a basket, but instead places it on its stand to illuminate the entire house. Class of 2022, may we continue to shine brightly in a world that needs us so desperately. May we remember what darkness feels like, so that when we recognize it in others and even within ourselves, we will have the compassion to extend our light to those around us, and the humility to ask others to illuminate us with their love and truth. To our families, Faith Academy board members, teachers, and all of the staff that keep this school running, thank you for the sacrifices you've made to help each one of us get here, and for nourishing us with the love and support through the years. We are here because of you. Thank you for bringing light into our lives by imparting wisdom and knowledge, sharing words of encouragement, giving timely pats on the back, and always being there for us even when we seem distant. In class of 2022, congratulations on successfully navigating through the dark terrain of high school during the pandemic. I hope that the time we spent together will be like stars in your memory that will burn brightly no matter the distance and the time that has elapsed. Thank you for being a light in my life, and thank you for allowing me to be a light in yours. May God make the sun stand still in your hearts in the years to come. Thank you.